They're so cheap. We were at Tam Tam and Akihabara, and I made the mistake of checking to see how big or how much a kit cost back home that I saw. Not that I couldn't get it here, but it was the PG Zaku 2, so Chars, and I want it / need it for a build I'm planning out, and I'm looking at it, and I look at I see the yen price. I'm like, I think I know what this is. There's no way that's right. Yeah. So I check it on my phone, and it's $80 and I'm staring at it. My friend, he's standing next to me. He goes, "You can't buy that. Where the hell are you going to put it? Like, you'd have to send it back."
Alrighty, good morning, good evening, good day. You have joined me again, maybe for the first time. Welcome all. Scott Tiller on the Gunpla Insider. This is a interview, chat, sort of catch-up, meet and greet I do with some pretty great Gunpla builders. Not just Gunpla, but sort of Gunpla-centered builders, positive people, just generally people that I like to see get a little bit of attention, and people that I think can have a really positive impact on the community. So this is for the Gunpla Network, which is a really positive place to go and find more about what you might already like. Today we have with us Armida. How you going, Armida?
Hey, just fine. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Good. I'll just mention a couple of sponsors and then we'll kind of roll into it. So our primary sponsor is Canadian Gundam. If you've been on the Gunpla Network, you would be aware of that. They look after North America pretty well. My personal sponsor is Cloud Communications. They give me a bunch of camera gear and hook me up with a VMR, and that sort of makes this all a little bit smooth and crisp and clean. So now the admin's out of the way. Mate, it is so great to finally meet you. We met like 25 minutes ago. It's around 7 a.m. here, and it's around 1 p.m. your time in California. How's your day going?
Not too bad. Had a bit of a little of a late start, but I was able to get everything done in time. Weather is not ideal, but I'm managing.
Well, you're not getting that weird snow they're getting up in, is it Chicago and that? They're like 8 feet under and like they can't walk out because their teeth fall out and all that sort of crazy stuff.
Yeah, like icicles and tear ducts people are hearing about. I'm glad we're not in the Midwest anymore. So
Yeah. So, we're going to cover a whole bunch of stuff today. Some stuff that I've been trying to find the right person, and like I think you're the one. I think the prophecy's finally come. One thing is you spent Christmas in Japan. That's
yeah.
I was there with my family March 2018. We're going back in March 2020. There's a whole bunch of other stuff you organised in. There's a couple of groups that we might mention those now. I'm going to try SCGMC for those Gundam guys, the Southern California Gundam Modelers Club. Nailed it. So you're organising with a few of those groups. Do you want to sort of talk about some of that sort of stuff before we get into more about just you?
Yeah, so there is SCGMC, the Southern California Gundam Modelers. That event is called the Modeling Competition, and it's run by those Gundam guys. It's a local group here, Southern California. So I participate in that with them every year, and a lot of planning goes into it. Another group is an online group, the Gunpla Builders Association, the GBA. It's a huge online hub and community for Gunpla building and just connecting and learning new things, tips, tricks. We're close to hitting 2,000 members.
Nice.
So that's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, good. And so you're a Californian girl. Have you always sort of been around California, or did you come south because your teeth were falling out up north in the cold?
Almost. I'm actually from Michigan. Lived there for about 11 years. And then our family moved out to California when I was about 11, 12, and the rest of the family followed. Everyone just moved out here. I guess this was the end goal for everybody.
Yeah, crazy not to. Yeah. All right, we might just kick off with some of your Gunpla. And probably the Gunpla that I'm most familiar with. Probably when I first saw it, went, oh, wow, look at this. This is pretty rad. So, yeah, the Van Goof. I'm going to just flick through some pictures here. And you just kind of tell us a little bit about it. It's certainly unique. It's certainly beautiful. It's one that you can take Gunpla in so many different directions. You can get super technical. You can be appreciating God. You can be ascribing goddess. But this stands on its own, in my opinion. There's so much the bass, the flowers, just the. And as I said to you earlier on, I was making my coffee and I hadn't really looked at it in detail. And I was thinking, oh, if only Goofs had ears. And then when I went through the picture, I'm like, it doesn't matter. She still cut the ear off, so to speak. So, talking through the Van Goof and your inspiration and just how much fun it was to see people go, oh my God, that's amazing and beautiful.
Yeah, so the Van Goof was supposed to originally be for a contest entry within the Gunpla Builders Association. We had a cannon fodder contest, so it had to be a mass-produced suit. So GMs, Goofs, Zakus, and I hadn't really thought of an idea yet, but I knew that I was still really pissed off that I went to a wine and painting class and we had to do Starry Night, and it just sounded so cliche to me. And then I was thinking, wait, Vincent Van Gogh, Van Goof, and just eureka moment, had it. Knew exactly what I wanted to do then, but then I didn't meet the deadline for the contest because real life got in the way. So I got to take my time with him, and he became my first entry into GBWC.
Brilliant. I'm sure there was a bunch of oohs and ahs. I know that the GBWC, the one I've been involved in here in Australia, it was very much... There's like, well, you walk and you pick up your top three and you're like, probably, that dude's probably going to Japan. But there's always going to be some that you just look at and go, man, that's just amazing. People just don't really want to be the winner. They just want to be there and just share their love. So I think this would definitely be a category for me. So the picture I've got here, he's got some sort of award. So what was the goal? What was the result here?
So that was from last year's SCGMC. And that was the first time that model entered into their competition and walked away with third place for in the advanced category for Xeon suits. They'll split it the category by faction because there's just too many to have in one group.
Wow. How many entries would you say, just off the top of your head, walking around the room, how many individual models would you say would be at the event?
I only judged one category, but just walking around, I think there were close to 200-something entries.
Holy moly, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's good. And you said that's in November, generally?
Yes.
I think you said around, I can't remember the day, Veterans Day or something like that.
Yeah, it's usually on that long weekend, and the official date was announced yesterday for 2019, so it'll be November 9th in Pomona, California.
Right, so if everybody heads over to the Gundam Guys Facebook page, they'll be able to pick up on the details and maybe if they're not from there, book a flight and get some sun and share the love of Gunpla. This little guy, the little petite bear, he's even got little tiny flowers and stuff, and he's missing the ear. That was a bit easier for you. But he's
that actually wasn't mine. That was given to me by another builder as a gift to kind of be the new friend for my Van Goof.
Very cool, very cool. Considering you're in two separate places, it's you look like it was done with the one artist, and he's even like giving it the mono eye. That's hello. It's not like someone dropping off like a big pallet of Gunpla for you or something, is it? The courier?
No.
FedEx guy. Yeah, right. So, how would you say sort of Gunpla is like in that general corner of the world? I mean, it seems like you guys have got so much going on that you don't really need the rest of the world to enjoy. Like, it just seems like, as I see, there's Joel and a whole bunch of other people from that sort of Californian area. It's like, is it just is there lots of Gunpla available, or is it just this group of people that are super positive, and that just encourages more. What do you think that makes it so strong? 200 entries for me is unreal.
Yeah, I mean, maybe might be a. Now that you mention it,
just good weather.
There's a lot of them in Southern California now that I think about it. There are several different build groups around here. I think our proximity to, Los Angeles being there also helps. There's a lot of influence there from movies and Hollywood and everything coming in, and they've got their very famous little Tokyo area, so that helps.
Yep. Is that worth visiting? I mentioned before, we're going over in October. We've got about 4 days in LA, so is there much Gunpla to be found like in LA? I mean, it's not going to be Tokyo prices, but at the same time, it's just nice to pop in and see what's on the shelves and, grab something.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a better selection up in Los Angeles. Anytime I go up there, I try and set aside a couple hours to go shopping for myself, even if I walk out with nothing, just to go and see what's new. It's a bigger selection up there.
All right, I might get some of those details off you guys later when we're getting closer to the date, because I'm madly like putting little stars on my Google Maps and sort of just, and I'm like, what was there and what's there? I don't know. We'll just drive around. We've got a car from when we land LA with San Diego and then up to San Fran. We've got a car for the whole trip, so the idea was to just have some flexibility,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to sort of jump into your Gunpla stuff. We are going to talk about your trip to Japan because some of your photos are beautiful, and it's nice to talk about Gunpla. But it's also nice to talk about, I guess, some of the cultural stuff, Japanese behind Gunpla, and sometimes it can give you more of an understanding of why it is the way it is, And I would encourage anybody to visit Japan because I think it really reveals a lot about. I'm not really into anime, and I've only ever been into Gunpla, and that's only been for like a year or so. I mean, I grew up on Astro Boy and Voltron and all that sort of stuff, and that's very westernized, so it was still very sort of like insulated from the actual Japan business. But once you go over and visit, you sort of come away, and especially when you go through the stores over there, am I right? There's this, like, you don't get retail treatment like you do in Japan. It's for me as a Westerner, it was just honourable in a way. They're like, yeah, here you go. Like, this is very special. Don't just throw this under your bed. You got to look after this. It was unreal.
It's like you're getting a puppy every time you walk in. Yeah,
exactly right.
Don't forget to feed it.
Yeah, but not after midnight. That's how old I am. So this is what I like to call Amita's wall, and I love these sort of shots when I'm interviewing someone because there's a lot of it. You've gone to the effort of it. This is off your Facebook page. You want people to know as much about you as you want from this picture. So just look around the wall and just point out whatever you want and just tell us about Amita based on this photo.
So Armida likes her bar cart in arm's reach. So it's cluttered with a little more than just the glasses. It's got all of my little knickknacks and things that are too small to put on the wall or on a shelf and they're hiding out. There's a peak of my backlog. That's just a fraction of it. Everything else is hidden in a very disorganized shelf behind me, behind doors.
You got
I do...
box like probably most people, apparently.
I'm sorry?
You've got an Alex down there in the box like most people seem. Doesn't seem to be that popular.
I think I've only cut one piece off of it, actually, and I think that was just for the sake of a photo. But, yeah. Everyone wants a 2.0, but I think we're going to have to be appreciative of what we've got so far.
Yeah, we can't have everything. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
What's some of the other stuff like? And like I said, my extent was Astro Boy and sort of Voltron. So you've got what's the sort of to the right of the image is like the pink Feiyan.
So that's the Feiyan Knight. She is a Virtuoid from a video game called Virtual On. Very popular in Japan, and she pretty much you're just fighting robots. Battling against each other, and she is pretty much the Sailor Moon robot. She's the one of the girl bots, and I've taken quite a liking to her.
That's the spirit. Yeah, I'm into old school arcades games and stuff. I recently built like my own little cabinet, stuck a Raspberry Pi in it. There's a little Pac-Man thing over there, and so I'm back to Japan now. I've got to try and spread my time between Gunpla and arcades. Because when we were there, we kind of wandered through. I've got a 7-year-old daughter. It's all about claw grabbers, or UFO grabbers, whatever you guys call them. And that's
I spend a lot of money on those. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. But yeah, it was fun. So yeah, we're gonna try and find classic old arcades that are tucked away under like seafood restaurants and things like that. That's Japan. It's just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on there, and that is that the painting and wine painting that you did.
Yep. So that was the first step into the territory of the Van Gogh, and for the longest time, I hated that piece, so it just sat on the floor in my garage, and now it's on the wall, and I get to look at it every day, and it's got a whole new meaning now. So
beautiful, that's great. All right, well, we'll start poking on. So as I said, sometimes there can be a little delay in the pictures as they come up for you. So just yak away, and if you see stuff you want to specifically highlight, but we'll do what we can. Oh, that's backwards. Here we go. So yep, you do build, and like I didn't want it to be a big thing because you got to be careful you talk today. But you're a chick that builds Gunpla, and it is so rare and it is so refreshing. And I guess with all the different anime interests, that's kind of what brings it all together for you. Like Gunpla, how much of your overall sort of pop culture sort of stuff would you say Gunpla is for you? Like in a rough percentage? So like 50.
It's probably only. I mean, it might even just be half. There's a lot of crossover. So I don't think it's more than 50%. Yeah, honestly. Yeah.
And so, in your experience, and like California is obviously there's a real positive vibe there. Sort of, are you seeing like a growth in female builders, or would you say that it's I don't know, it's no big deal and let's not fuss about it, or like is it something you encourage, or do you know what I
mean? A bit of everything. When I was starting out, it was very it's not a big deal. I don't make a fuss about it. Because I'm well experienced in fields where women are a minority and whatnot. So school, work. So it was nothing new to me. But then I realized, wow, I'm not really seeing a lot of other female builders out. And so through Instagram, I've been trying to reach out to more of them and start our little Gunpla girl gang. And there has been a tremendous amount of
support.
Support. That's the word. Support. Have been connecting with a lot of other female builders. I've been seeing more of them show up at local tournaments around here, and they'll come up and say, "Oh my God, it's so nice to finally meet you in person. Thank you. I really like everything that you're doing, and I love the support that the other girls are getting because some of them may not feel as confident in their building or presenting because they are a minority still within Gunpla, and just want to, give them a little support, pat on the back, platform really, where they can feel comfortable in presenting their work and sharing.
Give them like a good sort of boost, and it's like, well, you can do it now. And I think I don't see any reason. There are some arts or activities where you sort of go, it's such a blokey thing. Like you could easily say that Gunpla is like a blokey thing because it's all about war and stuff like that. But as you see the different, disciplines of Gunpla creation start to really, look at someone like Win, there's love in a door. And I know you do because like half of your Facebook posts are about Win.
That was half of my time at the Gunpla base too. I was just staring at his entry and I was just. Yeah, in love. I really. So.
I hope it's still there next March because I would love to see it. I really do. And his little figures that he did, that series. You're familiar with the series a lot in the wheelchair.
The whole We Are Gundam series, yeah.
And
or We Are Gunpla.
And it's funny because like there's one at the end where it's got a guy carrying the two kids with the white base behind it, and like
that's my favorite one.
No, as a dad, even when I first saw it, I was like. I had to hold back some tears. It just instantly, I was just like, and then he reveals like he's never even seen the original series, so he doesn't quite understand. Like when I said the two kids, like, and let's just say that's Bright Noah and everything, and it's like a father, and he's like, I just love doing it. I was like, oh man, you're like a weirdo that you can just punch that out. And not realize
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Yeah, it's good.
So, see stuff like that, stuff like when you see stuff like whole bunch of guys, stuff like Jordan stuff. It's not War Machine. It's just beautiful Gunpla. It is art, And
Yes.
I'll say that any gender can crush it when you take it down that path. If you want to build a big, massive killer machine, that's fine. A guy is probably going to have more drive because he wants to see things killed. That's sort of just human nature. But a female can just do it as good as anybody else. So I would really love to see that start to happen more and more.
And I'm pretty sure that you will within very soon.
We've seen at GBWC, there's, off the top of my head, at least 2 or 3 chicks that have been going for a couple of years. And the stuff they bring out, like, I think there's a chick called Tash, and I think it was the year before last, she had like, it was like a, if you go back, it's amazing to see, it's like a little TV. And I think, like,
I'm familiar with the one. Yeah.
So you kicking the RX out through the TV. It's like, oh my
Love it. Yeah, that whole fourth wall is just gone. Yeah.
Absolutely. Brilliant. So, look, hats off to you. It can't fail. It just, like you said, society is what it is. It's just going to take a little bit longer for people to kind of realise that, hey, I can do this. And step aside, fellas. That's the way it is. Yeah, cool. All right, we'll just sort of rock on a bit. So there is some Gunpla in here. This is sort of like the Gunpla picks that you and I picked out. So just sort of tell us about things as we go. The base and the backdrop here is it's so Armada. I just like. What is she telling me here? Is this like a TV?
If you're not almost, it's takeout. It's supposed to be a container of tofu. It's based off of the anime Initial D. That's where some of the crossover comes in. So I modeled this GM after the AE86.
Nice.
So it's my GM86 build. This is the first custom Gunpla I ever did starting out building, and it was my first kit into SCGMC, and I took second in the beginners category.
And it makes so because like I've only ever watched the feature film where it was like half CG and mostly driving, and he's got the glass of water on the dashboard and stuff. Mm-hmm. And, get the tofu and everything over the mountain. Like, yeah, it makes a bunch more sense now. Awesome.
Yeah, when it's all together, if you've seen it, you get the message. If it's by itself, it just looks like I left my leftovers out and put my kit on top of it. But
you just stand there for a second. So did you do the LEDs in the chest and everything?
I did. That was kind of an 11th hour miracle the night before. Honestly, I cut out the holes in the for the chest and the torso, and then not so attractively shoved the LEDs in there and just taped them to a couple of watch batteries and crossed my fingers, and it turned on. So.
Perfect. I've got a buddy of mine. He's an 86 nut, an Australian guy, and he's like he runs like an 86 group and stuff here, and he's into like 4 drives. He's like, "Oh, the robot's cool, mate." I'll show him that and see if he can work it out, and he probably will because yeah, that's awesome. He'll probably read the Truino and go, "Oh, rad." He might want to buy it off you. Who knows?
Somebody did ask, and I said sorry, but no.
Yeah, limited run of 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, rad. Super rad. All right. I wanted to throw this one in because as we were talking about before, there's more to Gunpla, and some people just they do a beautiful build and they kind of just stick it on their kitchen table and take a photo, and there's the back, and it's not like this is a pretty great setup you've got here. But it's not hard to sort of get a sheet of material and a couple of cheap lamps and really make the most of your Gunpla. Hey, all my stuff's done on my iPhone, like kind of just a little tweak here and there, but I just wanted to share with people, like this is the sort of thing you can do.
Yeah, no, that setup actually ended up even not working for the shot because the sun was too far down, it wasn't as bright, and I was just trying to do something new, but absolutely, you don't have to have the fancy booth and the lights to make it work, like you said. One of my favorite hacks is to just get a desk lamp, put a coffee filter over it, and then I've got my diffused light. Yep. I can pretty much shoot anywhere.
Yeah, perfect. Hey, I use some of the like baking paper, or some people call it something else.
Parchment paper, I think, so we call it here.
It's like the stuff you can put it like under a pizza in the oven and it won't explode. Sort of thing.
Yeah, it won't drip through the cracks of the grill.
Grease paper or something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
This is just cool. I'm going to bounce back and forward between these 2 pictures because So, what's going on here? You judging? You have a pen. You're looking serious, but also admiring.
Yes, that was from last SCGMC. It was my first time getting to formally judge a competition. So I got to judge the beginners category since I was no longer allowed to enter. They bumped me up, and that was my concentration face.
Yeah, but you still have to be there. That's great. So how did you feel about judging? I mean, you sort of got someone else's... I mean, you were there the year before, and you stand back watching someone look at your kit and go, I forgot about this, and I noticed that, and why is he looking at it so funny? And now you're there, and there's someone in that room is like watching you look at their hours and hours of work.
Oh, yeah, you can feel it. Like, once you get to a person's kit, you notice that someone's standing a little closer than they were before and just watching you watch their kit. Kind of helicopter parenting a little bit. But, so I try to be a little discreet when I'm judging, but it definitely judging helps you as a builder, because then it helps you know what to look for when you're building your own model. And especially if you're going to be entering into competitions, you know what they're going to be looking for. They're looking for, is the seam line gone? Did you add a line here? How far, nub removal, just little foundation skills. The most fundamental thing is really the most important thing that we look for.
Yeah, sure. And did this kit win?
I don't remember.
Just curious. You might have been the one that swayed it, that hour.
No, I remember that for the beginners category, it was actually a set of two boys placed, and they were actually twin brothers that came in from Arizona, who we had met. We had met their father at another model show, and that's how they heard about SCGMC, and they ended up coming out, and all three of them swept. They all walked away with something.
Damn it. Yeah. Alright, let's keep moving on. Okay, so I think there's 2 or 3 shots of this guy here. So I'm assuming this was originally a petite bear.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting a whole kind of like trying to remember that sort of 90s rock band, Offspring. I'm getting an Offspring feel.
Almost. Well, maybe he is the missing member of Offspring, but a buddy of mine made a pun joke, so I don't know if you've picked up yet, but the majority of my suits have some kind of pun name. So, like, there's the Van Goof or the GM86. So this is Petite Bear Guy Fury, off of the chef from Food Network with the very loud hair and fire shirt. And
he goes and eats all the hot things and stuff, and just...
Yep.
Yeah, he's definitely very Offspring. Like, if the lead singer of Offspring put on about 100 pounds, it could definitely be him. Yeah. He could be a stand-in for sure. And so does he drive a red Camaro like that, does he? Is that what he gets around?
He does. He drives a red Camaro. I believe the one I bought is a 77, even though he drives, I think it was either a 78 or 70. I know I'm a year off, so I was upset that it wasn't as accurate as I wanted it to be. But also it's because the scale model didn't exist that would fit the bear guy in it for the correct year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not a little fella, so the way he fills that seat, that's probably bang on.
He's actually missing a leg. I had to pop one off so that he could fit in properly.
Oh, so good. Yeah. So the tall guys, everybody's talking about it. It hasn't got me. I don't know, but it's got an expensive taste in drinks, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Whether I've been, that's an expensive taste.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be my entry for SCGMC this year, but I had really rushed to get it done for no reason other than to feel like I was presenting something just to say, oh, I have something new to do, or I have something new to show. Yeah. So the night before, I was doing the decals and had a good conversation, and it was just, you know what? I don't have to rush to finish this. I can do this for me on my own time, whenever I want. There's no pressure. It defeats the purpose if I'm not doing this for myself. So it didn't show. It won't show. He hangs up now on my desk, on the wall behind me, just to kind of like remind myself that you don't have to put something out just to feel like you need to impress an audience. You should be building it because you like it, because it's for you, because it means something to you.
It's a funny conversation that we all have with ourselves, isn't it? Well, everybody who kind of, I guess, just enjoys it and wants to love it, that it's a real like, you think, why am I having this conversation? But you remember, I just want to play with my toys and enjoy it. That's all I want.
Yeah.
It's a really fun thing. There's, I'm sure you know Josh Darrow. Like last year at GBWC at the end, Josh handed out these badges to every single person except for the guy that won. So suck it, Aaron. Straight to the bin. And that was from the year before. So we're talking 2017 when a few of the guys really put some work in. And in the end, it's like, oh well, straight to the bin, And I keep this because I love Josh. I really do. I keep this just up on my workspace. When I feel like I'm putting pressure, because I do little friendly build-offs and I have a bit of a backlog and I have other things, and I can't help but look around and not notice it. That's why it's there, just to remind me that at the end of the day, and like I can build things like that Suzabi took me freaking months, but 2 days after I did it, I open a new kit and I barely look at it until it catches my eye. And you've got to remember that, your mind is so fickle that if you get too wrapped up in stuff, you don't get to enjoy the next thing.
Yeah, and I think that's probably where some of like that burnout that builders get comes from. I mean, I know that I had a bout of it a couple months ago. Actually, son of a. While building this guy, it just felt uninspired, I guess, and that probably attributed to a lot of it.
I think especially with the competition thing, I took a kit to the GBWC, but it was only just because I wanted to be part of the circus. I didn't. I'm never going to be that. I just do not have the patience. I'm 45. I know what I've got, and it's not that. I just want to be there, and it's a bit like I used to do mountain biking, downhill mountain biking, about 10 years ago, and I would go to like the nationals here in Australia, and I would line up on the same track next to a dude who's like 4 times fastest in the world, and I was just on that track doing training runs with like the top 4 people in the world, all from Australia. And for me, it was just a joy to be on the same and just go, hey, Mick, Hannah, my God. And like you just sort of take off 3 minutes later, this strike of lightning just goes past you. Like, oh, it's got past by Mick, Hannah. That's so amazing. So Gunpla, GBWC is the same. It's like, there's my kit. There's so-and-so. That dude's won before. That guy's been in Japan. Oh, my God. Like, it's
and we're all in the same case. This is awesome. Yeah.
You just learn something off those other kids. Come on, we'll take this home. You can tell me all about it, sort of thing. So that's for me. Yeah. It's just great to be around great people. And they're also humble. It's really
It's an art. It's inspiring to be around that too.
It is. Okay, here we go. This is you didn't put this picture in. I had to put it in there. These couple of pictures. So what's in the box for those that don't know?
So it is the 120th VF1 Strike Valkyrie that I waited forever to arrive, and it is not a small kit.
No,
like you can see in that image there, he's a big boy.
So is this a big plastic kit, or is there resin involved? Well, there must be a whole bunch of metal parts involved to stop this thing from just collapsing on the floor. There
are 2 support rods that I remember when I opened up the box, but no, it's all plastic.
Man, you need to get a shot of the runners, with like a couple of cans of Coke for scale, because there must be some love.
Yeah, I did an unboxing on Instagram Live, and it was just they were huge. I think one of the runners had maybe 4 pieces on it total.
Wow. Let's go back a bit. There's the box in the box. And there's a really cute use for the box.
To put my dogs in timeout in.
Oh, really?
I put it over one of them upside down, and she was not happy about it. So
the one on the top. What are the dogs' names? The top and the bottom dogs.
So the one on the top is Nike. She is the oldest of the 2. She turned 6 in December, And then the one on the bottom is Hermes. He is 4 years old, and he is a big mama's boy. She could care less if I'm in the house, but he needs to be in the same room at all times.
Oh, okay. Because Hermes looks the least impressed.
Yeah, he was kind of born with that face. It's that's just his look. He knows that this. He's like, oh, this is for the internet again. Okay.
I rob you.
Can I have a snack now?
Yeah. All right, we're back to the wall. Is there anything else on the wall that now we're kind of going through a bit of your stuff that you wanted to... So much awesomeness. What's the Iron Blooded Orphans thing in the middle? Is that just a bag or something? Or?
It's just a bag. A buddy of mine was getting stationed in Okinawa, and he was clearing out his and his wife's collection. So I got a bunch of Sailor Moon stuff that I knew a girlfriend would have really liked, and she did. And he gave it to me in the bag. So the bag has become a decoration centerpiece, really. I think in there are like empty runners, honestly, but that I was too lazy to put away.
Yeah, no worries.
And then you see the Epion shows up twice. Epion is my favorite suit, and it contributes to my namesake because TEXMERQUISE is just a play off of ZEXMARQUISE from Gundam Wing.
Right. What's the Tex? Is that part of your surname or something?
No, it's a handle I've used before. I was a very avid fan of the Halo video game franchise back in the day, and there was a web series called Red vs. Blue, and they had a character on there named Tex, and she was a freelancer. So that's where I stole her name pretty much and just used it forever.
Yeah, cool. Let's mention Spray Gunner, because I know that you've got an affiliation there. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so Spray Gunner is the first group that I've been able. Well, it's my brand, my sponsor, and it was really cool because it was kind of the first time I felt like, people maybe really are paying attention to what I'm doing. But they are a local, by local I mean United States based airbrush, accessory, and paint retailer. So they've got their compressors, they've got brushes, they've got everything, and they're based out in Florida. And I haven't made the trip out there yet, but I want to. But they just opened up a storefront recently, cool. So that's cool. It's where I get all of my stuff from, and it's great. They've got great customer service, great turnaround time. We get things in maybe 2 days afterwards, and it's so nice being able to order things here and not have to, worry about that import tax, getting everything over in time. It's very timely.
Yeah. And so is it their own gear, or do they just stock a lot of good gear and make that easily accessible?
Both, actually. So they have their own gear called the underneath the No Name brand. So it's a lot of the same stuff that that the big guys are selling. It just doesn't come branded, so it's actually a fraction of the cost. And it's very economical. Yeah. But they do carry, they carry Badger, they carry H&S, they carry Neo, anything you want. They have it.
Cool. Oh, well, good on you. Well done. Congratulations, all that sort of stuff. It's good to get involved in things that are big, isn't it, and sort of help push it through. And it's when it's a nice sort of mutual relationship, it's always awesome like that. Yeah, and then we've got a little team that focuses solely on Gunpla. So there's 3 of us. There's myself. There's Macho Models, and then there's Geo Gunpla, and it's the 3 of us, and it's great because of Spray Gunner, we've been able to bounce ideas back and forth and establish great friendships between it too. So. Yeah, it's amazing the difference in, and you wouldn't think it, like coming from outside. Like I know when I first sort of started like a year or so ago, and I'd done a bit of like plastic modelling, in my life, and you wouldn't think like, what's the difference between, like if I want to paint a tank or a Cadillac or a Gundam robot, like what's the difference? And you start to see the subtle differences in just staff, parts, ingredients, whatever, all the different factors that we could go on about for hours, and really I pretend to know what I'm talking about. And then having those relationships with a distributor, manufacturer, reseller that will actually listen to you and take your advice, and you know full well that this is to benefit other people. It's not just about you, and that's a really great feeling.
Yeah, that's definitely something I feel with them every time we talk.
Yeah, good. So we're going to now talk about You Spent Christmas in Japan, which is pretty much the reason why I wanted to interview you, because I missed it. I went there March 2018, and like I said, I was like looking at your stuff on Instagram, and you're like, oh, God damn it, slam my phone down, like, oh, I need to look at it, sort of thing. So I'm just going to flick through some pics. Hopefully the delay is okay, and we can kind of, discuss the pictures individually, because they are specifically about, you put them in for a reason. So let's just bring up, we agree this is probably a good place to start. So tell us a bit about this picture here.
All right. So this was a piece I had commissioned. I met this artist through Twitter during Inktober, so the month of October, big for artists. And I found Chiki. I liked her style, and the other selling point was that all of her favorite characters from animes and shows were also my favorite characters. So that was I was like, this is the girl. This is exactly who I want. So this piece I had made for our group that was traveling to Japan together. We normally go on ski trips, beach trips together. We used to all play Halo together, and we've kind of just grown up together, gone to each other's weddings. So I wanted to do something to make this trip special. So I had Chiki make this image, which is all 5 of us in our little Gundam-themed outfits with the unicorn in the back and kind of playing off that future funk vibe music with the background.
I love it because it's got almost like 3 layers. There's like up front is clearly that kind of sort of crisp anime type. Then you've got the unicorn, which is, it's modern but still the pinks and the mauves and stuff. And then the sun in the background's got this whole kind of like late 70s, early 80s surf t-shirt kind of look to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love it. So, yeah, that's a beautiful picture. You need to get a big print of that, have it up somewhere.
Oh, yeah. It'll happen. I just got to find the right frame. I think I want like a bright pink to kind of play off of the pink that's in the back.
Nice. Maybe you could get it printed near her locally and get a little signature or something. Who knows when she's back.
I would love that. Yeah.
I'm sure you could do it. Okay, so let's get into the trip. Now, you've numbered them, they're kind of chronological, and we'll just sort of go through them and have a bit of a chat about them. For the record, I picked that up just like you did, and I was already at full-on bag, carry-on capacity, and I was like, I need this to come home with me.
I know. I picked it up, and my buddy was like, you don't have the room for that. It's like, I know, but I want it.
I was exactly the same, but my buddy was like the voice of my wife in my head going, you don't have enough room for that, dude.
Uh-huh.
So good, huh?
Yeah. It was a life-size horror. I just felt like, kid in a candy store. And that wasn't even inside the base. That was at the little, trailer that's outside behind the unicorn statue. They're going to get my money anyway. I might as well spend it here. So.
Yeah. Did you like hold it up and sort of go, Camille, and just like make little noises like I did? Or was that just me?
That may have just been you, because I was. But there was a lot of internal like squealing. Like I think I get a voice when I see a cute dog, and it was pretty much the same voice that came out when I picked that thing up.
Yeah, awesome.
Just look at him, he's so cute. It's just
that little trailer at the back of the unicorn is really odd, isn't it? It's almost like that's how it was, and they're like, we'll sort that out some other day.
Yeah.
It still had a bunch of RX-78-2 stuff in there, like this cut from that little trailer.
Oh, you got one.
I got the black one, the unicorny stuff too, but yeah, this is precious.
Yeah, I got the unicorn one for a friend of mine that moderates my my Twitch stream. I want as a little thank you. But at the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe I should just say, "Oh, I forgot," and keep it for myself. It's like it's a nice looking cup.
Yeah, cool. And there he is. It is. We didn't get to see the night time. It was sort of towards the end of our 14 days. We'd done so much. I saw it during the day, and I was just... you really can't. Everybody talk about it. Some people say it's great, some people say it's not, but I'll be honest, when I walked from the train station through the car park, and you kind of come up over that rise, and it's like you come into Diver City, and you're like, where is it? Where is it? And then boom, it pops out. And from the moment I saw it until I got there, until the moment, like even when I went there, I, walked in, went to Gundam Base, and I just was walking away, just going, oh, so amazing. It's such an amazing thing to see. If you love Gunpla, even if you're a unicorn hater, which, lots of people are, because we've just had so many, it is freaking impressive to see.
Yeah, and it, like everyone says, you don't realize how big it is until you get there. And I'm like, yeah, no, they were all spot on. Yeah, the thing is massive. But like you were saying, coming up over that rise, and then I just remember my neck like permanently turned this way, because I was watching the unicorn come into focus as I'm walking by. I don't know if I probably walked into somebody just staring.
Yeah. I loved, like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, they've got all the decals and stuff and everything and little hatches. It just looks bang on. It just looks
I remember looking at those decals and being like, man, that must have been a pain in the butt to put on if they were water slides or dry transfer.
These huge, like, cotton buds, they're, like, wiping them backwards and huge twisters.
Yes, it takes 4 people to operate them. Yeah.
And it gets all wrapped around the huge pair of tweezers. They're like, oh, damn it, quick, bring in the other two.
Oh, no, it bubbled. I've got to take it off and do it again. Yeah.
And then, like, the cherry picking a huge bottle of, like, the stuff you put on afterwards to make it kind of melt a bit into it. It's like...
Oh, yeah, that's the setter. Yeah. Like a squeegee, you're just going by.
Oh, so good. So good. Yeah, so you saw the night show, did you? We didn't get to see the night show. Obviously you did. You have a photo of it.
I saw, I took a video of it. It wasn't the one I wanted to see, because, they have listing, the first night show, they play the original Gundam theme, and then later on you get different songs from Unicorn. But this is the one, at that point I didn't care. I was like, I'm here. I get to see a night show. I'm going to get to watch all the lights. It's going to change colors, and then... Yeah. At the end, when it switches to like the destroy mode, it's just it's so cool.
Yeah, cool. I can't wait. We're definitely going back in March. My wife's like, yeah, we're going. Let's go. Let's do this. And we'll probably spend a bunch more time around Odaiba, because there's a whole bunch of craziness in all the different buildings. Like, Diver City's like this thing in the middle of Odaiba. So, good times. All right. There's a few pics here of inside Gundam Base. I know when I went to Gundam Base, I kind of walked around with my phone and did this quick kind of like, up and down every aisle and sort of around and stuff. And it was about 3.5, 4 minutes of just, because I'd looked, I'm like, okay, pardon me, I need to share this. And I did that, and I was trying to be really discreet about not being like this. Hey, I've got a camera, ever get my way. And I posted up, and some people were like, oh, I can't read the prices, and can you keep still in the blah blah? I'm like, oh, you cannot share this. You cannot make a video or photos of this and get people to understand what it's like to be in this massive Gundam toy store with all the other fluff awesomeness around and little museum and just stuff. So next time I go...
Yeah, but Lord knows we all tried, though. But I know I took a ton of where they have the lineup and the pillars of how the RX-78-2 evolved since the first model kit to the latest.
Cool, huh?
I know I took a photo of all of it. It's beautiful. But there's no amount of pictures are ever going to properly tell you what it's like being in there. It's just...
In that video it's a Bandai made video, going to go for about 3 or 4 minutes of them carving out the molds and pumping out all the runners. Have you seen that video?
Yeah, I have. It's been a while, but I know exactly the one you're talking about.
It's just magical, isn't it? It's so magical.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a room in there where it's like a build room. And I remember I gave Bill Divers about 3 episodes, and there's that first time when he kind of walks in, and she's like, you got to pick a kit, and he's like walking around the aisles, and then bing, that's the one. Then they go into that room, and it's got all those sort of cubicle shelves where all the previously there, and I was like, yes, Bill Divers is going to be great. And
it's real. Yeah.
Didn't like it at all. I gave it 1 more episode. But that particular sort of scene for me was like, I felt like that sort of 10 to 14-year-old kid picking my kits and wanting to sit there. You know, you go in the back and they got all the booths and stuff, and it's like, for me, it felt like you go to a Ferrari shop and you kind of like, you buy your Ferrari and you take it over there and put it together, and I can do this here, like amongst all this.
I don't have to go home. I can stay here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, that same feeling. I was walking around with two baskets, like I was collecting groceries, when there was just so much. I wanted everything in there, but I had no room, so had to narrow it down.
I'd already been to Akihabara, and I really maxed out already. So by the time I got there, because my wife hadn't been, I wanted to go see Asimo, the tiny robot that's been around forever, at I think it's the Murakan. And we were there, and I knew that Odaiba was like a kilometre away. And I was like, oh, it's just over there.
Let's just go. Yeah.
Like, do you want to go? Oh, Diver City. She said, do you want to go to Diver City and get some lunch? I'm like, you know what's in there, right?
You're like, just lunch?
The Gundam shop. I'm like, you know, if I go in there, I'm coming out with stuff, and I've already got too much stuff. Like, how could you do this to me? And she's like, alright, let's go. I said, I'll just buy something little. I end up buying like a massive MG Ailstrike and something else. I can't, these like 3 massive. I'm a failure.
Like you won the lottery. Like, yeah.
A guilty lottery, because I knew I had way too much stuff.
Yeah, the one kit that I really wanted, that I walked out with for sure, was of the plastic, the injection mold machine, because I just thought it was the coolest thing. It's just like, I have a model of the machine that makes my models. It's the most meta thing that I could possibly own, and it's amazing.
There's no doubt when I go back in March, there'll be things that I'll probably buy a massive box of just random kits, especially like Mandarake and stuff like that, stuff that, you know, a whole bunch of PB stuff, and just box it up and send it home, and 3 months later I'll be, yay! But I won't be burdening my family with bags and bags of kits that I could have bought here for $20-30 more, because it was a hassle. And I guess you have a different sort of approach next time around. So I'm assuming here you're now at like a Mandarake or something like that?
Yes, we were. It was 6 or 8 floors of pain for my wallet, that store.
It's a funny joint. I went to the one in Osaka and the one in Tokyo, and you kind of get in and you're like reading the thing and you go, no, we'll try this floor. And you get out, it's like a whole bunch of middle-aged men reading like comic books about young girls. I was like, nope, that's not the floor.
This is not my floor. You just step back.
Yeah, and then you get out of another one that's all like that kind of like teenage pop star T-shirts and stuff. I was like, still not my floor. And then you burst out like the next one. I'm like, oh, I hope this is it. This is getting really uncomfortable and awkward. And I've got a time limit. And there's like just big greens and you see some Robotech and you're like, well, Macross, and like, this has got to be it. And then it's like, boom. And I had no idea. I'd been building Gunpla for like a month, and I'm looking at a shelf of a whole bunch of lots and lots of PB and collector stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, what is it?
It's there was so things that I didn't know existed that I wanted were there. I was going up and down every aisle, just staring at kit to kit, figurine to figurine, and just in awe.
It feels more like a museum than a store in some ways.
Yeah, I felt like I was troubling people, asking them to open the case so I could get something out. Like, I'm sorry to bother you, but I need this one, please. Am I allowed to have it? Can I please have it?
Sure. They're so apologetic and friendly. We stopped in a McDonald's. I had to go to the toilet. My wife and my daughter were sitting at the front door, just inside the front door, waiting for me. And we bought some, like, I don't know, sugar-coated apple or something somewhere else. It clearly wasn't a McDonald's product. And they're sitting there. And as I came out of the toilet, the one of the staff in the McDonald's, she come over to my wife and she's like, sorry, you cannot eat here. And she was like super apologetic, like she'd done us wrong. You know, here in Australia they'd be like, can't eat that here, buddy, get out, sort of thing. Yeah. It's so indicative of just how humble and if they're faking it, man, they're just so good at it. Just such nice people.
Yeah, then they all deserve Oscars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they played me like a fiddle, I tell you that, if that's the case.
Yeah, I say, Bill, it's as close to being like on another planet without actually leaving the planet. It's just the nicest place to be. People that have lived there will say, yeah, it's not so cool, there's stuff. But as a holiday, such a great place to be.
Yeah.
All right, I think we move on to some of the other kind of... I'm assuming you took this picture just because of the name under the Sin.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so
if
good.
it didn't say Sinanju, there wouldn't have been a photo of it. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm assuming it's some sort of seafood restaurant, but I can't be right. Like,
maybe we tried to Google it and we tried to like Google Translate it. We knew it was a restaurant. I'm assuming it was. It's a Korean barbecue style restaurant, just because Sinanju. This was just walking around Harajuku, and it was on the corner. And my friend elbows me and points to the sign. I was like, "Hey, look, Sinanju." I was like, "Oh, that's hilarious!" And just snapped a photo.
So did you spend a bit of time in Takashita Street then?
We exited through it. It was just crowded. It was reminiscent of like being like Black Friday shopping at the mall during Christmas holiday. Just a monstrosity of people.
Yeah, we went to the temple across the road, and then we went in. We hit it about 10 o'clock, and because I've got a 7-year-old daughter, so squishy is life. And the place decked with squishy stores. And I went in for about 20 minutes, found a couple of T-shirts, and I said, "My wife, this would be a really good time for me to go to that robot shop over in Odaiba." And she's like, "Sure, go." And I was like, "Just let me shoot on the ground." And I left them there 2 or 3 hours, and yeah, but they had a ball. Like, it's one of the reasons we'll go back. I think my wife and daughters had such a great time there, and we spent about a week outside Tokyo, but we're going to be there for 10 days, so I'll endure. It is a fun place. Like, the squishies there are bananas. Like, it's like $30 for what looks like a cheesecake is squishy. It's like, I don't get it, but it's cool.
Yeah, it's not my thing. So also might be just because I'm older now. Maybe if I was, a teenager, I'd be all about it. But
yeah. So what are we looking at here?
So a couple of us took a trip to Yokosuka. I don't remember the name of the station or the actual city, but within the city, there is Dobuita Street, and the main reason we wanted to go there is because a couple of us were fans of the game Shenmue, which it's we'll call it like a role-playing game.
Yeah.
But a lot of the action and the day-to-day chores that you're doing within the story take place on that street.
Oh, weird.
And they had I guess it was for a re-release of the game that was coming out. Yeah. So they had posters up for it, advertising it, and within the gift shop right there, they had a map of where everything was within the game and where it was in real life, which was really cool.
That's neat, eh? But me, neat. That's very Amida. As far as I can Did you go there?
No, I did not go. Everything was closed. It was still early in the day. But
just said during the daytime, you didn't hang around during the evening.
No, but from Yokosuka, there it is. So I was close. But I guess that area is big for the Navy, for the U.S. Navy as a hangout, or if they're stationed there, I guess. So a lot of the bars and restaurants there really try and cater towards the American male sailors. So there's a ton of bars. Beer pong advertisements were everywhere. I don't know if it quite translated over. That's usually like a college game, maybe not so much an everyday game. But and they had burgers named after sitting and former U.S. presidents. It was a lot.
As soon as I saw this picture, I just instantly thought of the Terminator movie.
Almost, yeah. I mean, you could.
That's gone.
But it was also again. This was because this was our Shenmue portion of the trip. There is a park within the game that was inspired by this park here, and then it kind of does a double meaning for me. In my non-Gunpla life, I design children's playgrounds. Oh, so really? It was really interesting being in a different country and kind of seeing what they work with compared to what we have, and kind of seeing if if there's any, I don't want to say, the codes and practices that we use aren't used everywhere else. So it was interesting to see how what rules and regulations they had versus ours.
Yeah. It is interesting, is that Japan has this feeling of like it's futuristic. Like at night, you pretty much, if you walk out of your hotel after 7 and you walk into, say, the middle of Shibuya, it's pretty much just it's just kind of like Blade Runner. If it was raining,
yeah,
Blade Runner. But then we went to the oldest theme park in Japan, which I can't remember what it was. It's on the Green Line, and it's got this crazy roller coaster, and it's like kind of sideshow alley, and there's a Ninja Star sideshow alley thing, and we didn't win, but the consolation prize was, those little lollies in a packet they're called fags. They're like little
the Framar girls, yeah.
And I'm like, so you've got robots on the technology, but you still give children like candy, cigarettes as a consolation prize. I'm so confused right now. Like, you just wouldn't see that here in our country.
That's what you meant by, I got the wrong thing entirely when you were talking about, when you say lolly. I thought you meant like the little figurine, like little figurine girls that are all dressed up.
Little candy cigarettes, and that's what you gave to children. I'm like, that's crazy. So yeah, there's some stuff that's odd. Cool.
I didn't make it to Shibuya, actually.
Oh, wow.
I left before most of the group. Well, we split up at some point, and two of us went north to Hokkaido, Sapporo, and they stayed behind because they had to go back, and we were, going across the Pan-Tokyo or Pan-Japan trip. They made it to Shibuya and got to see the crosswalk and everything. I did not. So there's something left for me to do when I go back.
We went twice. We went on our last night in Tokyo. There's a sushi place. It's not a train in that keeps going around. The train is in. You order it on a tablet, and next thing this thing goes in front of you, and you take your stuff off, and then it disappears back into the kitchen. It's like 3 layers. Yeah, it's rad.
Oh, so it's not like the revolver style. It's just okay.
It's rad. And also in Shibuya is the robot restaurant. It's kind of like half Gundam, half Fury Road, Mad Max. The first opening scene, it's like 4 levels under. It's just mental. You got to do it. You don't breathe for the first 7 minutes. You're just like, what the heck is going on? Lights, and if you're into anime and robots, you got to do it. It's rad.
Yeah, I did. I went to one, but I don't think it was in Shibuya. Maybe there are 2 locations, or maybe I did go and I just didn't know I was in Shibuya. That would make a lot of sense, actually. But no, I went, and it was cool.
Long, thin kind of area, and there's people sat either side of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the one. Man, that was mental.
Oh. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of it. I mean, it felt like high school Cirque du Soleil for me a little bit, just because of how, like, sensory overload it was and all that.
Yeah.
Maybe I just wanted more robots. It's actually, like, maybe there weren't enough for my liking. Yeah, but it was cool.
Yeah.
The setup was cool. I liked.
Yeah, it was a little scary. I was wondering, like before, what like the fire code was like, because we were about 4 floors under the ground. I'm like, if a fire starts up there, what happens? Because there's like all sorts of stuff.
Start digging your way out.
Yeah.
You take one of the robots and you break through the wall. That's the plan.
Yeah, pretty much. What is this one here? It looks like Stalin or something. I'm confused.
No, that is William Clark. They have a observatory for him in Sapporo on Observatory Hill, and he was huge as far as the agriculture development for Hokkaido. I didn't really do much homework. I read it on the train once afterwards, and I never looked at it ever again. The Wikipedia for it, but.
So much going on.
But it was beautiful up there.
The weird domey kind of, I assume that's some sort of stadium, and it's like 4 different generations.
Yeah, Sapporo Dome.
Right.
And I guess in the back those are the fields, but they're all snowed over. So I'm sure it's beautiful in the spring and summer.
Yeah. These kind of arches and just general temple-y stuff. I was amazed walking through Tokyo. You just looked in an alley, and all of a sudden there's just sort of something. There's still some culture left. It's not all just bricked up, and you find yourself. What's going on? Is this something special? And because you can't read most what's written, you sort of don't really know. But yeah, it just blew me away. But there's
it's like I like how the cities are and little areas are just built around these shrines, and they're just like portals when you walk through.
Oh, absolutely. Good word for it.
Just the culture that's still very prominent.
The temple, the shrine that's across the road from Takashita Street, I can't remember it. It was bombed and rebuilt and stuff, and it's quite a large park. And when you walk into it, you only got to be 3 minutes in. You look around and you can't see the city. You can't even hear the city. You're surrounded by a forest, but you could be in the middle of a forest. It is unreal. I remember looking at these pictures of you guys when you were there. It must have been crazy. Look at them all. They're all older dudes, like cut you before you could blink.
Yeah, so that was at the EA Shrine in Murayama. So this is after Sapporo at this point. And we were told that the shrine was probably closed. Otherwise, they usually have like demonstrations and whatnot. So we walked up to the shrine. Like you said, you're there for 3 minutes. You take your pictures. We're walking back out towards the exit, and who we're assuming was the master of the studio. He had opened the door and like told us to come inside and warm up a little bit because we had been walking for quite some time at that point, and had us stand and sit in and watch these guys train. Yeah. And from my understanding, the EA practice is drawing your sword out from a defensive sitting position. So when you see those movies where those really badass samurais are just sitting around, and then you think they're going to get attacked, and they're able to defend themselves from that seated position. That is what this was, what they were practicing. And we got to take a couple swings and get instructed on katana swinging, which was absolutely cool as far as all of the nerd points I'd ever want to get in life are.
Not worthy.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
And they were so kind and hospitable, just letting us come in and hang out and just experience that. It was amazing.
Here's another picture of another cool little shrine, things just tucked away.
Oh, that one. It was beautiful.
Sounds like
that was part.
Big walk.
That was the end of a 12-mile walk for that day. So we started at that EA shrine and then ended up at wherever the hell this one was. I have to go find it on a map every single time. But there were plenty of opportunities on that walk where I was just like, maybe I should tuck into this bar or restaurant here and just, wait for my friend to come back. But I stuck it out, schlepped through snow. There were mountains we passed through there that were whited out by the time we got back and saw them again. So this was our end destination, and it was just I felt so accomplished getting to the top of that shrine and ringing the bell. I was like, oh, right, I could totally make the whole walk back. Absolutely not. We called the taxi and got home.
That's good.
But it was gorgeous, and the snow had just started coming down during it. It was like, no, I know I took the photo, but it still doesn't look real. Like, even when I was standing there looking at it, it was like something out of a movie or a video game.
Yeah, you're waiting to see one of those guys sort of sitting there on their knees with their sword next to them, just praying and get attacked. They come through the trees and
there's some mystical creature coming out, and suddenly I can talk to animals. Like, I was just waiting for that moment at that point.
Just a little longer. No.
It was too early.
Just around. I wanted to go and see the Samurai Museum in Tokyo, but we didn't. We got a 7-year-old, and so we sort of just pick our battles.
Yeah. So this guy, he caught my eye, and he's part of the armor is from the Sanada clan, which is the clan that defended over the castle in Ueda. The castle is ruins now, but it's a very, very beautiful park. I'm sorry?
Is this a legit armor that's kind of like been refurbed, or is this
I'm not sure. It was at the station there. Right. So I don't know if it's like the real thing that, like you said, that they touched up and is on display, or if it's just a replication. Yeah. But did give me some inspiration for my hopeful GPWC entry for this year.
Bitchin'.
So I had to make sure I got a picture of this guy before I left.
Funny enough, since it looks like that and it's at a train station, I'm going to instantly think of Jordan because yeah,
it's hard not to. I was thinking about that. It's funny you mentioned that. I was like, oh, look at all these rivets, and I'm at the train station. Like, oh my god, yeah.
Talking to people like him and that sort of stuff, that's amazing. It really makes you think beyond. There's a lot of good photos here that just show you just wandering around and what you can see and what you don't see at home. I assume this is some accommodation.
Yeah, so this was when we were in Best Show Onsen. So this little hot springs town off about maybe 30 minutes outside of Ueda.
Yeah.
And it's a vacation spot for a lot of people. They'll come up, do the hot springs for the weekend or even just for the night from the city and then go back. And this was our place where we were staying, called the Earthworks Gallery. So it's run by the owners of that ceramic shop in the first photo. And this is their guest house behind their studio, which was beautiful. Every dish there, they all make by hand. And every dish, even the sinks in the guest house we stayed in, they made.
Wow, that's incredible.
Just felt very, very artisan and homely. I loved it.
I found my people.
Uh-huh.
One thing I think, it's easier when you're sort of traveling and because we're making plans for America, we're going to try and work at LA and San Diego and San Francisco and then everything in between and do this and that, and you sort of feel like I've really got to nail this down. But I feel like when in Japan we kind of couldn't really get it wrong in a way because there's always a bit of culture in the corner of something somewhere, and I guess that would be my only bit of advice. Having gone there once for 2 weeks was like, just don't overthink it. Think about what you want to see and just pick some accommodation. 3 minutes walk from a train station on the Green Line, and that's in Tokyo specifically, and you'll just crush it because we walked out the door. We used Google Maps, walk out the door to the train station, walk the platform, train either there or it's there 45 seconds later. Same at the other end. Just too easy to get anywhere you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was worried that I was worried going to Japan that I was underprepared or that I didn't plan enough. But after being there a couple days, it's like, no, I did everything you just said. Yeah, don't really have to plan much for it. You have your destination, you have what you want to see, and everything in between. You can't get it wrong.
No, you can't. It's still perfect.
So that was the one with the shadow the two dragons on the top. That was at another temple. I think that was in Kyoto, and it was just it was gorgeous seeing that. It kind of made me think of like a tattoo when they do the gray shading.
It's a Yakuza type.
But it was awe-inspiring.
This one here, there's a couple of photos, and I think there's a little video which I think should play okay. We might see if we can play it a couple of times. Pretty cool. So before we go in, what is this and where is it? Because this is the dining bar Solomon, and it is the only reason that we stopped in Fukuoka, because I knew that it was en route to our final destination, and I needed to go in because it's a Xeon themed bar, and I'm a Xeon girl through and through. Okay. So we did dinner there, and I unfortunately didn't get a shot of the door, but the door is a Zegok eye, so it's got the lines and it's got the mono eye in there. Yeah, cool. It's really cute. Right, I think
but you go in and it's just overload. It's great.
I think the video's up next, so there's a couple of photos, but the video will start. Here we go. Here's the video.
These guys go all out.
I'll just go back and let's play that once more because I love it. Yep. That's alright, we'll work it out. My mistake. So, how did you actually find out about that place?
I was looking for Gundam themed, cafes and whatnot that were all over, and have like a little running spreadsheet of them for the event, for when we were planning for the trip. Places we wanted to go. How badly did we have to go to this place? Was it absolutely necessary that you need to go to this bar? Like, yes, it is. But so just from random internet searching is how I found it, and I knew it's exactly where I wanted to go because it had a ton of model displays in there. They had a big old diorama. A lot of people will bring kits and leave them there as like little gifts, and unfortunately I didn't plan that far ahead. They have themed drinks. They have like a Doan's Island salad. I got a drink that was inspired by Lala, so it was lemonade, vodka, and some iced tea. So it was the right color palette. Yeah. They had a little mini Gunpla contest going on, and we got to vote and cast our votes for the pieces that we liked into the Haro, the life-size Haro that I didn't get to bring home from that spot either. And they were trying to talk to us because we're their only clients there, and they're all excited, like, "Oh, do you know Gundam?" And I don't think I answered. I just stood up and like unzipped my sweater, and it was a Char's counterattack shirt, and they just lost their minds.
So good. Oh man, so good. Yeah, it must have been pretty overwhelming to see something that's so committed to something that you really, really enjoy.
Oh yeah, it felt good because I was like, oh, I know I'm with my people. They are just as obsessed with this as I am, but they've taken it to a whole new level and made it their livelihood. They are running a restaurant / bar centered around this. They have like designated battle days, so they'll have game day on Monday, and they'll be playing Gundam themed games. They've got their little lounge area. They've always got something from the shows playing. They were playing the Origins that night. Yeah. It was great.
It's interesting, isn't it? They put so much in. Like, I went to the Gundam Cafe in Akihabara, and even the one that's at Diver City, and like, it was cool, but I sort of walked in and everybody's like, oh, I don't know if you went to the Gundam Cafe in Akihabara, and everybody's like, go into the toilet, and you go into the gents' toilet and press the button. It does a bit of a lighty, transformy thing, but I kind of walked away going, oh man, I kind of was hoping...
The urinal turns into destroy mode, it just lights up red.
Yeah, I remember taking the video of it and then going, I probably shouldn't post that, it's a little inappropriate, but it was just...
Yeah.
But yeah, like that place there looks like they really went out, put the effort in.
They're very passionate.
Yeah. I think we're working towards the end of some of the pics here.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of the ending pictures are from a couple of our last stops in Hirado, and then we took a bus over to Akitsuki Island. So that's the Akitsuki Bridge there, and with my structural background history, I know that it's the longest bridge that doesn't use joints, or it has the longest span where they use the least amount of joints.
That's like engineering.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, bridges do it for me usually, except the ones here in San Diego. I hate all of them. They're just atrocious and not pretty to look at whatsoever, and don't pass any real structural testing.
Oh, really?
Well, their average is low. It's not that they're going to fall apart. It's that they're ill maintained, and they don't look pretty. That's why.
I'll keep that in mind when we're down there. We'll sort of like, we might just boat around if we have to cross anywhere. We won't do the...
Yeah, just swim. It'll be the right time of weather anyway. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I know these are all shots from Akitsuki Island. And if you're familiar with Samurai Champloo, it's the island that Fu, the main girl, wants to get to because she's looking for a samurai who smells of sunflowers. So that was the whole joke the entire time we were there. Up until we got electric bikes, and then after a few kilometers of pedaling, I ate it on the side of the road. I thought I hit the curb when it was actually the bike that hit me, and got a nice little parting scar. So called it quits, turned back, and returned the bike.
It's fine, thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, I was like, you said electric bike, but I think what I meant to say was a Vespa, something where I don't have to do any work. That'd have been great. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's also probably a little too much physical activity for me at that point in my life.
So much good food.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I tried to make a point to cook on the last night anywhere that we could. So we tried our hand at nigiri sushi, and I got the rice right. Just gotta learn how to cut the meat or the fish correctly. Really.
you made all this. You personally prepared
Yes.
this. Oh, well done. Super convincing.
Thank you. I had some help with this one, but
Okay.
that was a joint effort. But when at the with the big grill plate, that was me also. I do like cooking, so.
Stuff. All right, where are we? This almost feels a bit like an airport or something, is it? Or is it just Godzilla?
No, it was a mall actually in Kagoshima. So there's a huge like 2-building, 3-story mall complex called Canal City, and I liked this spot here because it felt a little dystopian, Matrixy to me. They were having a lot of promos for the kaiju with posters coming out, and then you see all these TV screens just behind it, and then there's Starbucks at the bottom, so it's like business as usual. But
yeah, product placement, and then the kind of the pop culture, and then the programming at the top. That's crazy. Love it. There's a scene in one of the Matrixes where there's just a room full of tellies like that, isn't there?
yeah, that's the architect's room
Yeah.
where he watches everything go on.
He probably needs more tellies now.
Yeah, doesn't want to be shown up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What are we looking at? This isn't Fuji, is it?
No, we drove by Fuji on one of the bullet trains, and
Yeah,
I almost missed it because I was glued into whatever I was watching on my tablet. But then I saw that everybody was moving to this side of the cart, so I look up, I'm like, oh crap! I almost missed Mount Fuji. Ooh, that would have been awkward.
Yeah. It's
But
pretty
this
rad.
was Sakura G. Not gonna remember it. But it was it's an active volcano mountain that's the view from our hotel room. So we woke up in the morning and saw that, and we just sat there and we're drinking our tea and coffee, just looking at it. Like that's all we needed.
That's not
It was a great ending.
That's coming out of the active volcano.
Yeah.
Wowzers.
I was just like, wouldn't it be cool if it went off while we were still here? It's like, no, it wouldn't be. We have a flight to catch. What's wrong with you?
So good.
It's like, yeah, but it'd be a fun story.
So good memories, hey? Like you must really look at the picture now and just think, oh, so good, such a good time.
Oh yeah, no, I had a great time. Like I was getting a little choked up, like at the airport when I'm sitting there. I'm like posting my last picture on Instagram for the trip, and I'm just like, man, I hope my friend doesn't find me right now because he's gonna see me crying over my phone. It's gonna look so sad.
Going through the
it was heartbreaking leaving.
Yeah. Did you go through duty free looking for that last little bit of Gunpla? Just need to take one more thing with me.
Yeah. Well, I didn't find it at the airport, but I did take a little charm from like bought a charm at the airport for the last city that we were at. I was like, all right, I guess this will be my last purchase. And then I had a layover in Osaka, and I was getting a little hungry, and I said, no, my last purchase is going to be the biggest plate of the katsu curry that I can find. This is not how I'm going to go out sad. I'm going to go out full and happy. So, treated myself, and then slept the rest of the way home.
We had pockets full of coins, so my daughter and I spent like an hour, and we were back at Osaka airport, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, so we spent the last hour kind of wandering around, putting our coins into the gashapon. We come back with this big arm full of capsules. It was so good. It kept us busy for a while.
Those things were addicting.
Oh, they're crazy. I know. We couldn't walk past them. We just had a problem. We really did. I mean, I was looking for so Gundam-y type stuff. We just couldn't walk past them. You'd see one, and you're like, oh, I need to... What's this one, and what's that one? And some of the craziest stuff, like little...
all I've got is this 5,000 bill. Well, I better go break it, because there's a gashapon machine coming up.
Right, exactly right. Yeah, cool. Wow, what an adventure. Look, I'm just going to sort of totally support you and say, like, Japan is such a cool place. And if you do like Gunpla, and depending where you are, save your money, buy a few less kits a year, and make a trip over. Even if it's just a week in Tokyo, you can't possibly not have a good time there. Like, people are so hospitable. The Gunpla experience, or any kind of like Japanese anime modelling experience in Japan, it is the source. And you can't possibly not have a great time, eh? Highly recommended.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Gunpla was one of it was the driving force to get me out there. And like you said, if you care about the animation, if you care about movies, anything like that that's related to it, this is the mecca trip for you, honestly. And it's everyone will have a different experience and connection with it, but I think everybody leaves with that same feeling. Just
I want to come back.
A feeling of fulfillment, having gone there and done it and seen it, and like going to see your hobby at its roots.
Yeah,
it's fun.
And I went with my wife and my 7-year-old daughter, and they both. It wasn't just about Gunpla and robots and stuff. It was, as a family, we had. I wasn't sure whether we were ready to travel, but as a result of that trip, we're now going to the US and back to Japan. Like it's a really great place. You can't fail. The accommodations all like they're 2-star. They're 4-star accommodations, like 2-star over here. I found it affordable. I found the staff so hospitable. Like maybe we're a bunch of jerks in our country and we're just slack and lazy, but yeah, they put the effort in. It's fantastic.
Yeah, the people there make it worth everything.
They do, and Gunpla is freaking cheap. Like, I went stupid. I the first night I was just like, I'll do a big camera and come away with like $12 HGs, and I got home and I was like, this is day one. Like, the first kit I bought was a Steinberg car. I bought it from a place in Osaka because that was my prize kit. I'm coming home with this, and but I just bought a bunch of HGs from a big camera for like $12-13 each, and I got back there and I'm like, what am I doing? This is day 2 of like.
What am I going to buy now? You're like, what's there left to buy?
I need to. Yeah.
They're so cheap. We were at Tam Tam and Akihabara, and I made the mistake of checking to see how big or how much a kit cost back home that I saw. Not that I couldn't get it here, but it was the PG Zaku 2, so Chars, and I want it / need it for a build I'm planning out, and I'm looking at it, and I look at I see the yen price. I'm like, I think I know what this is. There's no way that's right. Yeah. So I check it on my phone, and it's $80 and I'm staring at it. My friend, he's standing next to me. He goes, "You can't buy that. Where the hell are you going to put it? Like, you'd have to send it back." And this is before we had already decided, no, we'll just buy things and send it back anyway, which is what we did anyway, so I should have done it, so I'm an idiot. But I'm staring at it, and I'm thinking about it, and he's like trying to talk me out of it, and then he goes, wait, what if they'll ship it for you if you buy it here? So you don't have to, drag it around for a little bit. So I go to the front of the counter to ask, or to try to ask, because I don't speak Japanese. So I pull out my phone to translate over through Google Translate, do you guys ship to the United States if I make a purchase here? And he maybe gets 2 seconds into reading, he just goes, no, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, no, we don't ship. I was like, all right, I guess I'll just put it back. I don't need it yet. But it's so cheap, $80 for that kit. I've never seen it below like $120 here.
Oh, well, it's out there somewhere. Someone got it. Someone loves it. So,
yeah, it should have been me. But yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, what a ride. Man, thank you so much. For me personally, it's been great to meet you. We've chatted on and off, and I've been watching your stuff on Instagram and everything, and it's really refreshing just to. Like I say, refreshing every time. It's not like Gunpla's like all negative and scary and crappy. Like it's 98% great, and I don't go places where it's not. And the point is, just what I'm trying to do is sort of bring people's attention to positive influences like yourself. Try and kind of counterbalance that 2% where people are just so grumpy and trying to tell you how to paint things and try and tell you what's wrong and what's right. And And what did you say that when you didn't say it? And all the sort of rubbish that goes on, you know, like there's groups for that. Go and do that over there.
Yeah, no one. I'm at a point in my life where I'm just like, I don't have time for that. I don't need any of it in my life anymore. I'm past that point.
Yeah.
I was like, that was for high school. I think I'm an adult now. So yeah, no one needs it. And
yeah,
you know, everybody likes being surrounded. Everyone wants to feel positive and do positive things. And so why even waste your time with it?
That thing you got going on in California there, like you guys need to kind of bottle that up and try and start shipping that, you know, instead of ship out some of this California Gunpla love and, you know, get it out there. So I'm going to have a chat with you.
Maybe send a little bit of our weather too. Wouldn't hurt. A little sunshine.
Yeah, definitely. Feel for those people up north at the moment. So I'll bring up, this is your Facebook page here. So people can go through, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Lots of stuff about Win, because we love him. No,
yeah.
I exaggerate a little bit, but yeah, there's a bunch of others. So we didn't really sort of see their your custom decals on the side of the tall geese legs. Very cool.
Yeah, I had a friend print those out for me, and I really liked how those turned out with that split action it's got with the front and back of the calf.
Definitely. So it's a bunch
of lining them up was a pain in the butt, but yeah.
Yeah, I bet. So people can go there and they can follow along with TEXMERQUISE and you know, get a bit more. And you're on Instagram under, I assume, much like the one word TEXMERQUISE there. People can find you.
Yep, same thing. I'm very active on there. A lot of my feed is usually Gunpla focused. Occasionally, a dog will show up, but a lot of my behind the scenes, like everyday stuff, and still related to Gunpla, but maybe more of my pop culture stuff too. I post on my stories, or I'll do little mini Instagram streams from.
Yeah, cool.
But I like that. I like having that behind the scenes aspect.
Yeah,
like a day to day to kind of connect with everybody else on a more personal level. It feels a lot more intimate for me. Yeah,
I guess sort of what my goal here is to sort of like go behind the curtain a bit with some people. Like there's some people that I've interviewed that all I've seen is their Gunpla, and I'm like, whoa, look at this, and I get a personal, like a sort of like an understanding or a perception of the person, and I meet them, and I'm never disappointed. But I'm like, just a normal dude that builds amazing Gunpla. So good just to see normal people that do amazing stuff. And that inspires people. When you like we were talking about GBWC, when you're in the room with you know, and your kit's in the case, and 3 kits down is the guy that's probably going to go to Japan this year. That's pretty great to be part of that. Alrighty, I think we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for taking your time out. Saturday there, just after lunch. You should be kicking back, you know, doing what you do on a Saturday arvo. I really appreciate it. It's been Sunday morning here, so I'm kind of fresh. A couple of coffees ready to go. And I appreciate the time you've taken to, you know, prep for this interview, and I appreciate the time you've taken to just share a bit more of yourself with us today.
I don't know. Thank you for having me. I was very excited when you asked, and I couldn't wait to share everything about Japan and getting to meet you and do my first interview. So thank you.
Oh, no worries. Well, hopefully someone somewhere after watching this is like checking out flights to Tokyo. You never know.
I hope so. I hope they'll bring me back something.
Yeah.
And bring me back my PG Zaku too, please.
Remember where you heard it first. Is there any last sort of plugs you've got for anybody, anything, anyone, whatever?
I mean, Gunpla Builders Association, we've got a new contest going on. It's photography based, so you can just use a kit that you've built already that doesn't really get to see much light of day and try it out. It's just about taking a cool photo. Yep. It's super easy. Just join up the Discord, read the rules. SCGMC is going to be November 9th. It's going to be in Pomona, California. It's going to be warm here. So if you don't like your cold Novembers, come on out, bring your Gunpla, hang out. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
And if you're looking for something to purchase, new kit for your new airbrush or paint, you can use my code TEX10 at spraygunner.com and get 10% off, including sale, shipping, everything.
Awesome. And did I read right? You got your own merch going down here and there?
Yeah, I'm not too good at selling myself. Yeah. I just opened up a storefront. There's linked in my Facebook, my Instagram. So it's all Gunpla, Macross themed. There's shirts of my dogs dressed up as the RX-78 and a Valkyrie, and shirts with me on them dressed up as my little Fei Yin character. So just fun stuff.
Yeah, cool. Fun. It's all about fun. All right. Thank you so much, Amita. Just thanks. And we'll be in touch. And never know, San Diego sounds like it could be a lot to do, so I might have to get you help me whittle down what I can do in 2 or 3 days. I'm definitely going to the little house where Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis filmed the Top Gun scene.
I think that house is a gift store now, I think, or last I heard, it's supposed to be adopted into a hotel they're building there, and they're going to show it off as a gift shop.
I hope it's still
we'll
there.
See. But there is the barbecue area, the barbecue spot down here where they filmed the sleazy bar scenes. So there's that. Spent many a time there.
Maybe I'll rip out the mic and serenade my wife, and she'll walk straight out. That's probably what'll happen.
Yeah.
All right, no worries, mate. Well, you have a good day. Have a good rest of your weekend, and lots of peace and love to you. And we'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
No worries. Heaps of fun. Okay. Ta-da.
Hi.